Hey, so it's been a while. It's been a mighty long while, and I'm pretty sure everyone can imagine why. This year has been, I guess, tough for everyone, and it's weird because there's a lot of things I planned for this year, especially for Kickflip. And COVID-19 kind of put a wrench in everything. The year before, I was pretty quiet, and a lot of that was trying to figure out how I was going to approach a whole bunch of things, editing the movie, going through some personal stuff, and blah, 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 blah. But it was all planning for 2020. We finished editing the movie towards the end of 2019, and by editing, I mean like finished the movie, like locked our offline cut, did the sound mix, finished up the online, did the titles and the credits, finished up the music, all of that stuff. Like we had a locked, finished product, I think by October or November, somewhere around there. And I'll probably upload a little video of, because I had the footage, and I even shot like a little vlog as it was happening of the first cut and showing it to my producer Samad and my wife Eva, who also stars in the movie, whilst I waited upstairs because I didn't want to watch their reactions and just recorded myself. So I'm going to post that up as well. But what do you call it? Like right now, it didn't seem like the best thing to post up because, long story short, the movie is available today, like as I post this video. In fact, it's available right now. I'm recording this at 12:36 a.m. on the 3rd of December. And if you look behind me, this isn't playing back from my computer. This is actually playing back from the streaming service Mubi, which gave Kickflip a home, finally. And today's the release day. So, yeah, lots of stuff to unwrap about that and how we got there. So I figured I'd do a video because these things have been a long time coming. So yeah, like as you can imagine, trying to get to this point was not easy. At the beginning of the year, after we had the lock cut at the end of last year, one thing we knew we wanted to do was see how it looks on a big screen and have a cast and crew screening, as well as invite some distributors, some people whose opinions really mattered to me, and find out what the reaction would be about the movie. Now, this was kind of bittersweet because on the one hand, it was the first time the movie would be shown to a whole bunch of people. So, that was kind of nerve-wracking. But at the same time, it was bittersweet because I was broke. Like, I was totally fucking broke. You have no idea. Like, so on the one hand, like, the screening went great. We did the screening. We rented a hall at E at Curve. What is that chain called? Crap, I forgot. But the cinemas at E at Curve, So we had most of the cast and crew there. Some people couldn't make it, but most of everyone involved was there, as well as some friends and guests and some distributors. And the screening went really, really well. Everyone was very happy with the movie, and there was a lot of really good feedback from the film. On the distributor side, there were some possibilities, but on the most part, like, whilst we've been trying to push this movie and trying to get it to festivals, which is what a lot of 2019 was about, trying to get it to festivals, trying to find a home for the movie, a distributor, and it was basically filled with, I guess, rejection is the best way to put it. Like, right off the bat, because the movie was black and white. Like, there was a distributor I was talking to at an event, and I'm talking to her about the movie. And, I wanted to put the black and white on Front Street, which is probably something that my producer would say, no, don't do that. But that's why he's the producer and I'm the filmmaker, because I didn't really have many fucks to give. So, like, I don't want to, beat around the bush or anything. So I'm straight up like, okay, it's a midlife crisis skateboarding movie in black and white. And it's not 16:9. And the reaction was like, oof, black and white? And that was a common reaction. We got turned down by a lot of festivals, which was also not the best feeling in the world. It's just a lot of rejection, which is pretty much what this business is about, a lot of rejection. So that was kind of tough. And by the time we had the screening, like, with the money we spent on getting the hall, of course, I want to feed some of the people that are there and everything else. Yeah, it was great in the sense that, everything felt validated. We had really good reactions to the movie, but at the same time, I couldn't get it out of the back of my head that I was broke. Like, I didn't know how I was going to pay my bills. I didn't know how I was going to sort stuff out. I was barely putting food on the table. But there was some possibilities, There was, I think, one distribution company that was like, I think we might be in play. There might be something here. And then COVID happened around March. Sorry, my cat is climbing up the walls. It's kind of distracting. But yeah, then COVID happened. And sure enough, like, all those possibilities kind of went by the wayside, which was totally understandable. Everyone was trying to figure out what the fuck they were going to do. And in a more global perspective, the film industry was trying to figure out what the fuck it was going to do. My God, this cat is mental. Hold on, let me go get her. Boo, come here. Oh. Yo. This is Boo. Say hello, Boo. Yes, there's a kitten I rescued. And there's a black cat, which is fitting. She's still teething, so she wants to bite me all the time. Go play somewhere else, Boo. So yeah, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, COVID. Ain't that a wonderful thing? So COVID happened, and straight away that kind of screwed up any chance of possible distribution from the distribution company that we were approaching. There were some festivals that were kind of interested at the beginning of the year, but COVID happened again and don't know what's going to happen. And I honestly didn't know what was going to happen to the movie. Like, it was such a weird place to be where I have this film that I spent 2 years working on and finally completed, spent a year of rejections. And, by 2020, the plan was, like, fuck it. If everyone rejects it, fuck it. We'll put it out ourselves. I don't give a fuck. And then it became the question of how, like, theaters were a no-go. For those of you watching from other countries, in Malaysia, one of the major cinema chains closed down. Another one closed down. I mean, they shut their doors. Like, I don't know if they're going to be coming back. Some places have literally said, like, we're out. So I don't know what's going to happen with cinema. As part of Geeks in Malaysia, we went to see, an IMAX press screening of Tenet. And that was a weird experience. Like, it was strange being in segregated seats. Not segregated, but separated seats and watching a movie with a mask on and not having a real communal experience about it. And I won't lie, like, just being in that cinema felt dangerous, So yeah, like that moment when we were in there in the cinema in the middle of the year, it was really feeling like, things have got to change. Things are different now, It's just a question of how. And like, I had a lot of plans, just not even Kickflip related, just for my YouTube channel. I had a whole ton of plans of stuff I was going to do, stuff I was going to shoot. A bunch of them I actually shot, But COVID happened, and then we were in lockdown for a while. And it was a really scary time, you know? It's still scary. But it was just not only just scary, but a constant feeling of dread and not knowing whether I could work, and not knowing if my parents are going to be okay, not knowing my brother who's studying abroad was going to be okay. Worried whenever a delivery man comes over, just in case. You know, it was such a strange time, and as you can imagine, with someone with depression, it was doubly not fun. And you know, shooting was, you know, not allowed for the majority of the lockdown. And then when the lockdown cleared up to a partial lockdown, it still wasn't very clear. The second that, you know, that stuff opened up, bam, we were hitting the races and shooting again. But even then, it's a scary time just trying to shoot. But at the same time, I need to get paid. Like, thankfully, I had one editing job, and editing, thankfully, I can do at home. And that editing job basically, you know, it didn't pay as much as I'd like, but it helped put food on the table for, you know, the first half of the year. So I'm very grateful for that. But like I said, it was tough, you know, and I didn't know where I was going with my career. I didn't know what was going to happen with the movie. I just didn't know, you know. So cut to around third quarter of the year. And as you go through the lockdown and COVID and start realizing, like, look, things aren't really going to get better straight away. And the truth of the matter is we don't know when things are going to get better, when things are going to be normal, you know? And everyone keeps talking about the new normal. But what I think a lot of people aren't talking about is the fact that you have to embrace the new normal, you know? There's a certain amount of acceptance that you need when it comes to dealing with this thing, you know? And strangely, the best advice that really helped me out was an interview with Matthew McConaughey, of all people, about his new book. And one of the things he said in the thing, and I'm paraphrasing like hell, was that don't, you know, hope for the you know, like, don't have that hope of, oh, tomorrow things are going to get better. Tomorrow things are going to clear up. Tomorrow there'll be a vaccine, or tomorrow the lockdown will be lifted. Because when it doesn't, you just wake up the next day and you get depressed again, and you have to hype yourself back up again, you know? And his approach was more of like, assume tomorrow it's still going to be fucked. Assume that this is going to be here forever, and how are you going to deal with things if this was the way you had to live forever? And it sounds dark. It doesn't sound like something fun to do, but it's good advice. It really is. Like, if you just accept the fact that, okay, this is the way it's going to be, you change your plans accordingly, and that's what I did, you know, under the assumption that, hey, maybe this is going to last forever. Screw it. So I talked to my producer and tried to figure out, like, okay, if this is the way it is, then how can we release this ourselves? And one of the services that I've been meaning to contact was Mubi. The first time I discovered Mubi properly, like, I'd heard about it, but I didn't really know much about it until last year at the SEA Shorts Film Festival in Malacca. They were having a 10-year anniversary of 50 Malaysia, which is also available on Mubi, by the way. But yeah, it was, you know, like a get-together of all these things. And my friend and fellow director, Tony Pietra, was part of a panel on digital distribution, because his movie Shadow Play was distributed totally digitally. So I went to check that out, both in support and also to find out, you know, what else would be on the panel. And there were a few other talkers, and one of them was Mr. Ho from Mubi. And by the way he described the business model and the way the site was, I checked it out, and it was a very cool site and app. You know, it's a very, very cool subscription service, because unlike the other subscription services, it's straight up about movies and has a slant towards, you know, independent film, experimental film, stuff that I would really dig. So I was very interested in it, and the gears start whirring like, this might be a good place for Kickflip. So I approached them, you know, and we had a nice little meeting in Pavilion. Again, weird to go for a meeting and wear a mask and have your temperature scanned and being worried if there's too many people in the restaurant. But it was a good meeting, and I offered a bunch of the films that I, could get, that I owned my IP or could get, permission for. And they picked up Kickflip. They also picked up another movie, which I'll announce later on, but they picked up Kickflip for Malaysian distribution. And yeah, we got ourselves a home, a place to show it. Now, it's only showing in Mubi in Malaysia. We're still trying to figure out our international strategy, which will probably kick off in February. So for the next 2 months in Malaysia, it's exclusively only on Mubi for Malaysians. So please, all you Malaysians out there, really appreciate if you check it out and tell me what you think of the film. But yeah, that's how it ended up on a streaming service, and that's how I finally got the film released. Now, it is kind of weird, because I don't have any experience in releasing a movie digitally online, and it's been a bit of a confusing time trying to figure out how to put this movie out, like how to get the word out for the movie, because, it's not like a film where your income is directly related to how many people physically go to the cinema. And the physical locations that you need to pimp the movie out for, and the times. And, it's like I released 4 movies in cinemas. I understand how that is done, both in a commercial sense and in an indie sense. And I understand that system, And now it's weird, because it's like, yeah, I want to release the movie. I want people to watch it. I want to give it a big, announcement. But at the same time, you're not stuck with this 2-week, 3-week window. I've got to keep promoting this movie over the next 2 months for Malaysia. And then once it comes out internationally, fingers crossed, I have to figure out that next step of how to pimp it out internationally. And if I overdo it, my Instagram's just going to be filled with black and white set photos of the movie. So it's a bit tricky, It's literally an experiment. I'm sending out the press screeners for, and even then, thinking about the press screeners and thinking about the press kits and, what do press need right now? And which publications do I aim it at? And, how do I pimp out the fucking movie? I'm not quite sure, So it's just going to be an experiment for the next 2 months of trying to see how to get the word out on this film. Because already I'm trying to get the word out, and of course the first question is, what's Mubi? Because it's not as well known as Netflix. And then trying to explain how you can subscribe and all of that stuff and what it is about. Is it on an app? Is it on a website browser? All these things. It's a really interesting time. Not even having a press screening is kind of interesting. And trying to figure out, okay, who can I send it to? Do I send it to mainstream media? Do I have it very targeted? Right now, I've sent it to people that I know and within the skate community, because to me, that is the most important part. I would rather get a good review from the skate community, to be honest with you, because, yes, the skateboarding in the film is kind of MacGuffin to what's happening with the character, in his life. But it's also parallel to what skateboarding gave to me in my life, and how much I value that thing. And, for the skate community here, especially like I've always had, that imposter syndrome thing when it comes to the skate community, because I can't do a lot of stuff on a skateboard. So, I'm always worried that people are going to call me out as a poser or something. And, they'd probably be valid in saying that because I'm not, core. But I love rolling around on that board, man. And, to be honest, I haven't been skating since we wrapped the movie. And a big part of that is because right after the movie wrapped, I was actually diagnosed with a slipped disc. And for the beginning of last year, I was seeing a chiropractor and physiotherapist twice a week for 3 months just to fix up all the problems that had accumulated from over 20 years of sitting badly at a computer and editing. I'm actually sitting on a kneeling chair right now because it helps my back a lot more. But yeah, so I'm a lot better now, but the muscle memory is kind of weak and the leg muscles are definitely not as strong as they used to be, but I would really like to get back on that board. But getting back to it, like with the skate community, I just really hope that they like the movie or understand it, because to me it's a love letter to skateboarding and how much it can improve or enrich your life. It sounds like a big thing to say, but it's like skateboarding's always been a part of my life. Like skateboarding, filmmaking, and guitars have always been a part of my life. Skateboarding, filmmaking, guitars, and science, which explains why Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time. But yeah, it is interesting trying to figure out just how I'm gonna market this thing. How do I don't know. It's strange. It is really, really strange. But fact of the matter is the movie came out today, which is going to be interesting. And as the months progress, we're going to be releasing it on different platforms. We're going to be trying different things. I don't know what the numbers are going to be, but it's going to be interesting. Like a review for the movie has already come out on Zaf Vlog, his YouTube channel. What do you call it? And it was such a phenomenal review. Like, it was such a good review. I was watching and going, holy crap. Like, it helped to validate a good year of rejections and another year of uncertainty. You know what I mean? Like, that was an awesome review, so thank you so much. And yeah, if any of you guys do manage to catch the film, I'd really love to know what you guys think. And I'd really appreciate if you could help pimp it out. If any of you have any kind of press thing or, a vlog or whatever, and you want to do a review or something, let me know. Hit me up. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird being in this position, and I just like to take this moment to thank every single person who has helped in making this movie, every single person who's shown support for this movie, to Mubi for giving this movie a home, and yeah, every single one of you that's actually been watching these little kickflip vlogs. It's crazy to be in the situation that I am in now. And it's weird, like I'm still not sure how to approach things. And at the same time, I still have work and I still have, I wanted to start promoting this and cutting more trailers and doing more Instagram stuff leading up to the release of the movie, but I was swamped with work the past 3 weeks. Shot 4 short films and a music video and edited them. And in the middle of shooting a documentary. And tonight, I shouldn't even be shooting this. I should be going through and grading assessments for my class, because for the past couple of months, I've been teaching cinematography at Sunway University. So, trying to do everything and not even sure what to do has been a weird situation, but it's interesting, and I'm just glad the movie's out. I'm glad that people have a way to see it, and I'm beginning to start to see how people are reacting to the movie, and it's been a lot of validation, which I'm very thankful for. And who knows? Who knows where we're going to go from here? I have absolutely no idea, but it's an interesting ride. From the moment we started making this movie till now, it's been an interesting ride. So I'll keep updating on how this journey of finding a streaming home and marketing a film on streaming, an indie film, is. And yeah, sometime this week I'll also post up some of the vlogs that I've been meaning to post up, some interesting footage that I managed to catch of the whole post-production process and the screening. So yeah. Till the next vlog, I'll try to post some more content. Yeah. Kickflip, showing on Mubi. Watch it.